everyone, back to Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and this time, two human characters. Okay, so like I said, we're talking about two human characters today. Yep, human-ish for one of them. Mike and Eliza. Not Elsa, Eliza. At least, I think that's how you say her name. Really hope that's how you say her name. So, let's start with Mike, okay? Because Mike is, again, awesome. Amazing boyfriend right there. Amazing musician. He is Susanna's boyfriend, and in the first book, they kind of get all girly about them because no matter what kind of girl you are, you can get very giddy over boys. Or just people you like in general. That's natural. So of course they get giddy over him, and then she finally asks him out, and it's so nice. And as you kind of see him, and he at first just seems like the boyfriend, right? The boyfriend to this really awesome girl, because like I said, Susanna just stole the show, okay? And he plays the violin, okay, and he's really good at it too. You see that when they go off with the Chimera for a little bit, he plays the violin, and they're all just like, even when the Seraphs and Chimera are together, they're all just like, because he's good at playing the violin. Let's just applaud him for a second, because, I mean, his girlfriend was like, I'm going to go find my friend, okay? She is missing. I don't know if she's dead or alive, but I'm going to go find her. And he was like, I'm coming with you. So it's like, Daddy, you're an awesome boyfriend for that, okay? And just an awesome friend, because he really is Karu's friend, too. And then we have the last book where he is really smart, okay? That whole scene with Karu's fake grandmother, he's really smart, you know, being like, can I at least get my violin? And she's like, okay. And he does, except then he switches everything out, and he's just like, yeah, that's my violin. When really he grabbed the wishes, and it's like, you're pretty smart. You're really smart about that. So, awesome job to him, and really that's like all I can say about it. He's a really nice boyfriend. Like, he is a nice guy too. He is silly and funny at times, because he started talking to Susanna about like 3 wishes, that a game that they were playing, and then he was there for her after they saw a war, so because that took a toll on both of them, and he had, I guess, I don't know if he took this very seriously, but Susanna was thinking of this more as a joke. But he was like, well, I should like perform 3 tests for you, like how they did in the old days, to like be able to marry the princess or the maiden of the story. That's what the heroes did. They did something to prove themselves, and he wanted to do that, and she was just finding random stuff for him to do, and so a lot of it was really sweet, like talking to the Raz to see if she would warm them, and I think like fixing an air conditioner was one of them. Like there were about 4 of these tasks. One of them was like, no, he didn't consider it. Even like she made up some tasks at the end. And yeah, like really, again, that is like all I can really say about him. He's an awesome guy, and he's fun to have around, but not as impactful as everyone else. So now let's turn to Eliza, and let me just tell you, Eliza only appears in this one, and I had no idea why she was there until the very end of the book, which bothered me, okay? I didn't really like Eliza, to be honest with you, because it wasn't because she wasn't nice. She seemed like a nice girl who had a hard life and like had an interesting-ish past, but this just came out of nowhere in the 3rd book. Now, yes, she does like give us the human perspective as this whole thing's happening, not, oh, yeah, Mike and Susanna, they already know about all this stuff, and they're watching this happen. I feel like that they could have also saw everyone else's reactions too, and yeah, it opens up with her, and you're just like, oh, what is she here for? What's going on with her? And we kept going back to her. Half of the first half of the book was her, and I'm just like, I don't care. Okay, I wanted to get to Akiva and Karu, especially them, because they were not admitting their love, and everyone knew it, and it was annoying me. But we kept cutting back to Eliza, and I'm like, I feel feel like the part where she goes, you know, and sees Ziri, like, for the first time, I feel like we could have picked up with her there. Had the first chapter to show everyone's reaction, then picked up with her there, okay? And gave a quick, brief overview, even for, like, this Morgan Tooth guy. Like, again, just a quick overview of everything that happened, like, with her past. It was, like, a couple paragraphs, quick overview, and I just didn't feel like we needed so much of her, especially because, you know, we get to the end of the book, right? We get to the end, it's like, yes, everything's saved, it kind of did his, like, the hand thing, they're watching everyone come back, they come back, and then they realize that they won this, like, fight that seems hopeless, and you're just kind of sitting there, and you're just like, yeah, I'm good with this ending, but the book's still not over yet. Why isn't the book still over yet? And then you remember the Stillions, and you're like, oh, that's not good. And then out of, like, nowhere, it comes up this whole thing about the monsters on the other side, and Elzael, I think that's how you say her name, has, like, reincarnated, or, like, they passed down their knowledge to somebody else in the world that they were, so she passed it down to Elza. And I'm sorry, like, the part where Elsa became a seraph, like, yeah, that was, like, whoa, where did that come from? That part, I was like, I could live with that part. And the ending, I do like why she's there, the whole, she's there to explain that this is why everything happened, because they went too far, they ended up in some very dark world, and then they had to, like, move, and all the Stillions are still, I think as you say, all the Stillions are trying to, like, fight back these monsters. I like that, but the beginning portion, I just feel like we didn't need so much of her in the beginning. I wanted to stop where she was. Every other character, I was like, I must read. When we get to the, especially even with Ziri's point of view, which we'll talk about next week, I was like, I need to read this. With her, I was like, I'm gonna take a break. I'll stop there for today. The gist of it is, I liked her as a character. I liked her by the end of the book with it, but how much we got from her? Ugh. I'm reading a book about other dimensions, interdimensional war, fire angels, Chimera fighting each other, this girl caught in between it who's a resurrectionist and bringing the dead back from life. I do not want to read about science, okay? There's probably some science to this stuff, but science, like what they're doing, I do not care, okay? The part where she, like, saw Ziri, yes, have that part. The part where she began to go crazy, yes, have that part. The part where she was talking to her teacher, the part where she was talking to Morgan Tooth, the part where the government guys came to take her, that could have been explained in a paragraph. So, in the end, Elza, good character, she's very nice, very knowledgeable, good character. Well, LDL, because really that is like reincarnated or something weird like that. Good, nice character. I just didn't feel like we needed so much from her. I'm sorry. I did. So, yeah, that's the gist of both of them. Okay, they're both pretty minor characters. Elza only appears in this one. I liked her, but again, I don't want to read about science in an apocalyptic book. Okay? And Mike is really nice. He's like a great guy too, because he followed, like, Susanna all around the world, and 2 worlds actually, all over 2 worlds, so that he could help. And I like both of them. Now, what would I say to them? Mike, if I could talk to Mike, I would probably, first, if I had to be vague now, I would tell him that he is, like, one of the sweetest guys ever, and everything is going to be awesome in the end. Okay? Awesome in the end for him, because him and Susanna are staying together forever. And if I could be specific with everything, I would probably warn him really fast right off the bat about Kiru's grandmother. That's what I'd probably do, so that he could find the wishes faster. And as for Elza, if I could be vague with her, vague's really hard. I would just be like, you will figure everything out in the end, because she was really having conflict there. In her, like, just inside herself, she was really having a lot of conflict, and you see that because, like, she's trying to decide what to believe and what to not believe because of her life, and it was interesting, okay? And so I'd be like, you will figure out everything. And if I could be specific, I'd probably be like, you're the reincarnation of LZL, and this happened. 2. That's what I tell her. This is what happened, this is what you should know, don't worry. And I explain it to her so that by the time, like, she gets, like, you know, all better, kind of, then she could be like, I know what's going on! Instead of, I'm slowly starting to get it back. So that's it for this week. Not much to say about them, but I did like them. Okay? Did like them. Mike's an awesome guy. Elza felt like we could get less of her, and I'd still like her. But hey, I liked both of them. So next week we're talking about Chimeras, because there are a lot of Chimera characters. Okay, before you guys leave, I forgot to tell you what I would tell Susanna if I could go on there. I was just so excited that she's, like, did this awesome. So if I could tell Susanna anything, and I had to be vague, I would say, I would first tell her that she's, 1, awesome. Okay, I would just be like, you are awesome, keep it up. Okay, because that's really kind of what got her through the book, is her attitude and her awesomeness. And if I could be specific, the second one, and be like, Karoo is alive. Right there, I would just be like, Karoo is alive, go find her. You probably should, you need to go find her here, this is where she is. Because Karoo really needed a friend there. Just want to help her along her way. So those are the 2 things that I would tell her. Still doing predictions for later this week for the Greeks for Blood of Olympus. Way too excited about that book. And remember, next week is Chimeras. Thanks for watching. Bye!